Yeah, I think probably they have a good head start in terms of fighting off the upcoming surge in competition, but the issue will be price and whether or not consumers are willing to pay inflated prices for subscriptions. So I think consumers will win out in these SVOD or streaming wars, and probably we could see 2 or 3 casualties, albeit that won't play out probably until this time next year. So Netflix have a great head start, but the real fight is yet to begin.
Is there room for all of these streaming services to succeed? I mean, do we have a sense yet, particularly as we enter a potential slowdown, potential downturn, how many of these services consumers are going to be willing to buy and keep?
Yeah, great question. I mean, most of the research that we've done and that we've seen from our peers indicates that number 3 is the right number in terms of the number of services that households will pay for on average. That's coming out the US. In Europe, it would be a little bit less, probably closer to 2. So consumers' tolerance to pay for good quality content is there, but it has a threshold, and the threshold is probably about 3. And we've just mentioned 4, 5, maybe 6 different names. Don't forget, in the UK, we might have this application called BritBox as well. So there will be losers if 3 remains the threshold number.
So Alex, where does Apple fit into the mix at this billionaires summer camp, as it's been termed? We've got CEO Tim Cook. Do you see them being strong in the streaming part of the business, given they have the hardware and they have some of the software?
It's a great point. I mean, they're coming from a hardware perspective, not necessarily a software perspective. So they're different from the other platform players. They have less credibility for program makers. And so they have the biggest pivot to perform in terms of winning over both the industry and also driving subscribers. Where they do have a great head start is the installed base of people familiar, of course, with iTunes, the iPod, and the other hardware products. So they have a good position, but they've got a lot of work to do on the core programming proposition.
Alex, we get Netflix earnings next week to kick off the tech earnings season. How do you expect the price hikes that we've seen for the subscription there is going to weigh on Netflix, and kind of what stage will that set for the rest of tech earnings going forward?
So they've guided fairly explicitly that certainly in the US that they would expect to see a little bit more churn coming through as the price rises kick in. And really the overall subscriber growth story for Netflix should be playing out internationally. So in other words, outside of the US, investors and analysts will be looking for strong momentum outside of the US. In the US, I think it's pretty much expected that by now growth rates will have really flattened. In terms of setting the tempo for the peer group, yes, as always, what Netflix says is really recognized by the investor group, albeit of the FAN cohort, they are the smallest in terms of market cap. Just one aside, I think one of the things to flag maybe for investors or your viewers and listeners this morning is the role that advertising might come to play in the Netflix model further down the line.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.